yeah, it's a round of 16 game of the ESOC Autumn 2018 championship. I'm gonna be solo casting actually, and we have Hero against China on Manchuria. So in this tournament, it's always the same map pool. The only difference being that players can each veto one map, and so you might see a few variations in the map pool depending on the vetoes, but it's pretty much always Manchuria first game. And China is a pretty solid pick on this map because of the wood treasures and the livestock. There should be an 85 wood treasure and a 90 wood treasure here. But I think Hero does fine against China overall, so it's gonna be an interesting game. It's not exactly the most standard matchup. We don't see this matchup every day, and it's gonna be interesting to see how the players play it out. And we have here in the bottom left corner of the map Knuschelbär playing Iroquois in the color green. Mostly a team player, but also a really good 1v1 player. He made it to the finals of the playoffs by beating Maito in semi-finals. Was the last tournament, and overall he's consistently around round of 8, maybe semi-finals. So yeah, and on the other side of the map we have Mongobillione playing in the color teal, the civilization China, and he's, I believe, Lieutenant Colonel, so definitely not a weak player, and definitely able to take some games off Knusch. Not sure if Mongobillione is going to be able to win the series, but we'll see. Maybe we see an upset. So yeah, what did they do so far? We have a 50 wood for Knuschelbär, dropping a trading post, and so he actually had to chop 50 wood because it was a wood start, and he got his trading post, which is quite comfortable for Hero, being a civilization that needs a lot of shipments usually. Having this TP is quite nice, and we have a fight here. I'm honestly not sure who wins this. I would say the Chinese explorer. The Hero explorer is able to crack shot this disciple, so it's not as scary as it seems. You actually even need to be careful when you bring your disciples and it's not standing next to your Chinese explorer or even next to a yak, because the area of the crack shot could kill the yak or injure your monk. So they just split. China kills the lion and just went away. Not much of a not a really big deal. Now Hero got his convert ability again, and he can directly take this nice 90 wood treasure. It's gonna be really great for him. China did not decide to go for a trading post, but instead for the 2 villages, which is less standard nowadays, but I think it got its merits on this kind of map, because you might get a lot of livestock to fatten. Sadly for Mongobillione, he didn't pick so many yaks, but he could still pick maybe this patch of 2 or even this yak up there. So he might make use of these 2 villages, and of course you do get anyway 1 more villager from this card when you have 1 more village, because it gives you 1 vil for each village and each town center. So that's 3 villagers right now. Oh, Knuschelbär got the 90 wood and he stole the 60 foot of China, and he's now gonna kill the explorer, which is totally huge. Well, that's a nice pull from Mongobillione. He's pulling his Chinese explorer away, and Knuschelbär is not reacting actually, so he will not kill the Chinese explorer, I guess, or it's gonna be close. He should be shooting, I think. He should have been shooting when the Chinese explorer was still in range, and I think then it would have died. Right now, oh, this is actually huge. Like, he gets a crack shot on the disciple and also kills with the areas the Chinese explorer, which is exactly what I was actually talking about a couple minutes earlier. It was kind of risky because you need to make sure that the explorer is still going to be, the monk is still going to be in your line of sight. If not, the crack shot is going to be cancelled. So it was really close, I guess, and he just made it in time. So he was able to crack shot in time and to just pick that. And well, now he already got so much XP with the first TP. Building a second TP, 90 XP is it? Actually, not 100, 90 XP from the dead monk, and he already got basically 2 shipments ready in colonial. On the other hand, China, well, didn't have such a good start, right? He didn't get any treasure, or well, he did get 30 coin in his base with the villager, but that's basically nothing compared to the 140 wood of hero and 60 food. Another small coin treasure, not very impactful. So that's just a really great start for hero so far. And he's even scouting this last trading post, maybe potentially denying a trading post, making sure he can take them all for himself. And I kind of like this this TP play in this matchup. I think Hero can afford to do that against China, unless China is really going all in with 3 unit shipments or something. But usually I think it should be fine for Hero to hold. So I'm not sure if he's gonna... Oh, he's actually killing the disciple now and denying the revival of this Chinese monk. It could go up, it got enough HP thanks to the age up, but there's nothing to rescue it. And Mongobillione directly sending a villager to get this monk, and I think that's the right decision. A war hut is going up here. And 600 wood, so I do believe Hero is really gonna go stagecoach. Like, I think I saw 200 wood and 200 food dropping right now, and I believe that would be the stagecoach improvement. Or it could be a batch of tomahawks. No tomahawks in queue, so yeah, I'm pretty sure he is going for stagecoach right now and gonna drop a TP. So that's gonna be a really early 3 TP stagecoach for Hero. A nice eco advantage over China. If he can ship, for example, 5 villagers next, he's gonna have a really good eco. But meanwhile, it's giving a lot of time to China to age up, of course, and Hero needs to care to make sure that he's gonna be able to hold the H3 Chinese push, because yeah, I mean, he doesn't have a trading post, so he gets less shipments, so it's gonna be harder to... I mean, for China it's gonna be a bit harder to spam shipments, but still it's China, and he's still gonna get a lot of stuff. And if Hero plays so greedy with the stagecoach, which is coming in right now, and the 5 villagers, I'm not sure if he's gonna be able to do much. And he's not directly edging up, he's mixing in 10 tomahawks, just in case, I guess. But not really going to pressure with them, rather taking this coin treasure, and maybe going to pressure just after, we will see. So that's a nice coin treasure. It's gonna give him a bit more coin towards his H3, but he's not currently shipping anything. I'm not sure, like he got 400 coin and he could have 600 coin coming. Oh, it's already on the way because he just got so much XP from killing the monk and this trading post that he does already have 600 coin on the way, and he's gonna edge up from it. So it's gonna be a really good, a really good, I think a quite good build order for Heroes. They are just mixing enough units to spend his resources while he's stage coaching and aging up, and going to hit fortress barely. Well, let's say 1 minute later than China, but he has 10 tomahawks already. He forced some Minutemen, and he's gonna be H3 and get this insane forest products probably. We need to see what China can do in this small early fortress window where he's gonna have more units. He needs, I think, to pressure really hard. Either pressure the TP line and gets TPs himself, and then he's really okay, I think, or try to nuke the front base, because right now China is down by like 4 villas in eco because of these 3 TPs, and Hero getting only now his market upgrade, so China are getting some as well. Um, there is no consulate actually. He does have the tower on wood, but Mongobillion decided to not make a consulate so far. I'm honestly not quite sure what he invested his wood in then. I guess more villages. Yeah, he got 90 pop, but that's kind of weird. Usually you would get only 70 pop, I think. And he got 90 pop. And no consulate, so he doesn't get a 10% boost on his units. And he can't make use of this export because he's stacking already 400 export. A nice crack shot on the Minutemen, killing all of them and then sniping a crossbow. But still gonna lose maybe. He's not gonna lose his explorer, so it's actually quite big. Was a really good pick for Hero. Gonna push already with only 9 tomahawks and 5 forest brawlers. If we see intervention. Oh, now the consulate is up. Maybe he forgot about it. Oh, but wait, it could be a really great timing if they pop right now from this forward village. He needs to ally to the Brits. Text being researched. Brits, redcoats popping. Just a bit enough cav to snare a bit. I'm not sure if it's gonna be enough. He did kill the Hero Explorer, which is huge. So Minutemen are gonna tank a bit and scare the guns away. I think it's overall a good trade for China there. Just cleaning up the entire cav besides 4 dragoons and kind of forcing Hero to maybe take care because, well, yeah, now he does have more stuff, but he needs to take care about the big Chinese cav batches that can potentially pop. For example, the 5 meteor hammer shipment, which is really good. Plus a batch from the racks maybe. One villager dropping. A batch of cav popping, but he can't. Mongobillion is kind of wasting his calves there, sending them way too early in, and just like killing 1 or 2 skirms max. And now the 5 cav popping, so there was a lot of potential here for Mongobillion. He could have just waited a bit more, and if he popped this 4 cav and brought all his army at the same time, I think he would totally, maybe not clean up, but he would get a better trade for sure. And right now he's just like, yeah, his cav is doing some work. Maybe actually doing more work than I was thinking because the goods of Knusch are running in the cav. But still, at the end of the day, there's even 1 tomahawk here. I think Hero is fine, and well, that's an okay trade for China, but I think it's kind of playing into Hero's hands at this point. Because Hero has the map control, Hero has the better eco. And Hero has also probably better units in late game. I mean, the forest brawlers are just really strong with upgrades. And I just I don't see China being in a position to do so much right now. It's gonna be able to ship, like, for example, 10 skirms now, or even maybe the Chengdaos, if he gets a good pop, could do good. But most likely the 10 skirms. He's gonna be house also. The tower is not on wood anymore. 10 skirms popping already, but they're not gonna match the forest brawler mass of Hero. He got only 12, but they're just so much stronger than these Chinese skirmishers. Especially with the Explorer around. Oh, but the Explorer could get sniped right now. Oh, okay. Mongobillion bringing all his cav in. I do like that Knuschelbär decided to mix in some Kanyas to try to block a bit the Chinese cav. He's pulling them back so that they don't get killed by the redcoats and trying to snipe the redcoats with his skirmishers. Zero Explorer dropped, I think, but yes, but well, it still looks really good for Hero. Just got a lot of dragoons, and the dragoons alone, I think, can clean up this fight. So I don't know. China is gonna run out of steam now because he's just like shipping units, but he got only what, 1 unit shipment left, and then he can't anymore match the mass of Hero, I think, because Hero still got oh, he actually doesn't have 5 Kanyas. He has only 9 tomahawks left now, and the queers, of course. And Mongobillion really needs to switch his tower to wood to rebuild these villages, but he's still on foot right now, and it's gonna be hard for him to keep up the pop space, you know. He's already housed there, and oh, okay, he's gonna finish it. Oh, Cheng Dao is popping and gonna probably, depending on how good Knuschelbär can micro this, he might rescue his skirmishers and kill a good amount of Cheng Daos, but it was definitely not a, it was a good pop for China, but I think it's really not enough. There's just too many goons and nothing to really challenge the dragoons at this point. He even got some Kanya still slowly sieging down this village and doing overall a good job at hit and running these Cheng Daos and splitting with the skirmishers. And oh, but he needs to, well, I guess he can decide to sack the 5 skirmishers, let them die, and meanwhile just kills these Cheng Daos and brings the village down. He could just go in also with his Kanyas, honestly. I mean, at this point you might as well just set move and clean up and then kill the village, because this is right now giving time to China to potentially escape his villagers and repair the village at least. But yeah, it's anyway pretty much game over because he's cleaning up, so... Yeah, the H1 was really not good for Mongobillione. So that makes 1-0 for Knuschelbär. So he's gonna have to pick first next for the next match. Pick the civilization first. We can have a quick look at the graph. And well, we see that Hero overall just got decent trades and constantly slightly ahead in military, and just winning every fight by a little bit, and at the end of the day just really ahead. And just getting more resources in from the stagecoach. Killing also a couple Chinese villas, I believe. And like China was idling here and not making villages anymore. Yep, so let's go out. All right. I'm a bit slow because I'm not on my laptop. I'm on Queen's computer, and the mouse is slower and the keyboard is German, so I might be a little bit slow to type and to move with the mouse. Just feels like China could have maybe taken a TP since anyone didn't have so much livestock, and maybe ship some units in colonial to try to defend the TP or potentially push the war hut. I'm not sure. When you see so many TPs, you might want to try something more aggressive. I think it's overall a pretty good matchup for Hero anyway. Oh, it's actually a round of 32 match. Sorry, I said round of 16, my bad. That's a good round of 32, honestly. It's a good level for this kind of round. Let me get the map pool. So Knusch vetoed Alaska, which is the last map of this map pool. Oh, the one before the last map actually. And I don't see. Give it a second. Oh yeah, okay. And Mongobillion vetoes Tibet. Okay. So no Alaska for Knusch. And no Tibet for Mongobillion. So next map is Gran Chaco, which is an OTP map with a little bit of livestock and decent resources, I would say, overall. It's a kind of map where you would expect maybe Dutch or Brits, but you can of course also see the classic no TPCs like Aztec or Russia, India also. But Dutch and Brits as well. There's quite a few civs you can pick, and we do see India coming for Knuschelbär, which is definitely quite a strong first pick. Now I guess Mongobillion can try to counterpick by playing Aztecs, but I'm not sure if he can actually play Aztec. It's not the civ that everyone plays. And what else could we see? I guess Dutch is fine, or India Mirror. Don't really see any other civ challenging India on an OTP map, honestly. Japan could maybe be okay. And you can always try Brits, but it always just feels kind of hard for the Brit player. So we'll see what Mongobillion picks in a few moments. Knuschelbär is better than his rank suggests because he's been not super active, I think, and he probably decayed. But he's more of a brigadier than a lieutenant colonel, I guess. So let's see his text then. That's just pretty standard stuff. This is an elephant deck, but I don't know if you would do that in a tourney game. Score is, by the way, 1-0 for Knuschelbär at this point. And we do have Gran Chaco, observer mode, free for all recorded games, so we're good to go. Just need to wait for Mongobillion to pick his civ. Alright, Mongobillion picking Dutch. And that's a pretty classic matchup now on this patch, where both Dutch and India are quite strong, especially on OTP maps. And it's quite a close matchup, I guess. So yeah, there we go for game 2 of this round of 32 of the ESOC Autumn Championship 2018. And here we have Knuschelbär playing as India in the color green. And it's a coin start. And on the other side of the map, Mongobillione in the color red playing Dutch. And well, the coin is just wonderful for Dutch. And it's basically the best start for Dutch is the coin start. And it's also the worst start for India because they have no idea what to do with this coin in H1. So that's gonna be cool for India for sure. For Dutch for sure. And so here we have 2 times 2 llamas on this pawn and 2 times 2 llamas on the other pawn as well. And India is directly going to pick up some of these and spotting this nice 100-foot treasure. Dutch is splitting his envoy and his hero maybe to try to get the llamas, but he is finding a 40 coin, so he's gonna go for it. India just like checking around, I believe. He spotted 3 treasures and I guess he's gonna decide to go for the 100 foot. It's just pretty good and not very hard to take as India. 120 coin could be very, very interesting for Dutch also. Maybe he's gonna go for that one. India got now 4 llamas and Dutch 4 as well, so that's quite an even start. Mongobillione with his coin start and the 60 coin in small treasures, just having quite an easy H1. But this 100 foot on the other hand is also gonna be really cool for India. Since he's gonna be a bit slow to age up with his coin start, he's quite happy, I guess, to get 100 foot treasure. And 120 coin here. Gonna be picked up by Dutch. So he doesn't need to mine any gold, I think. He's able like to without mining any gold queue as many villas as he wants, basically up to 16, so he can really decide to age up whenever it's more comfortable for him without even anyway mining anything. And I guess he's gonna just age up 15, which is a classic age up. It's still quite fast, but I feel like, honestly, I feel like he could maybe age up 14 or wait. Nah, it would be a lot of idle time. I kind of like this 15 age up actually. Villager gonna pop in a couple seconds, I guess. And he's got 150 coin still. So he's gonna be able to queue villager after transition directly to pop a ville upon colonial, like start queuing a ville, and without needing to mine anything. So it makes it easier to get the resources for the bank. Native scout is always nice for India. And India aging up not so late. Dutch is scouting directly this Agra fort, I think. So he knows what's going on. 1 villager is nothing special, but it's not chopping wood, it's building. So it means that India is probably gonna go for not very aggressive, maybe very aggressive build. We're not sure right now what this is gonna be, but there's gonna be some sort of pressure for sure. So now Mongobillione knows he maybe needs to go not really greedy. Dutch gonna age up of course earlier than India, but India is still having a decent age up time. First bank going up for Mongobillione, he already got the villager in queue. Gonna get the bank quickly after hitting colonial, and it will give him the XP for his first shipment. So that's quite okay. Now the question is he shipping 700 wood or bank wagon? I would expect 700 wood because he's aged up earlier and he can probably afford to shipping 700 wood and still having skirmishers out in time. A bit of a fight going on between the native scout and the envoy and explorer maybe catching. Our Mongobillione should just fight it. Yeah, he's okay. Not sure if Knusch is gonna waste his native scout there. Yeah, I think it's pretty much dead now. Oh, yeah. Always good to kill the native scout, and you know you're free to move around without having a spy, just checking what you're doing all the time. Two Sepoys is going for the 135 coin treasure, so India going quite greedy actually, not trying to raid with them. Still only one Gorkha in queue at this point, 2 Gorkhas now. 700 wood for Dutch, and already dropping his 3rd bank. So basically first bank out of the transition resources, 2nd bank out of the 400 wood age up, and then 3rd bank in a market and a tower apparently from the 700 wood. Bank wagon popping now. So that's kind of maybe an overreaction from Dutch dropping a tower when in fact India is just making a couple of Gorkhas and going ready with the wood trickle first. Maybe just an overreaction, this tower. I'm not sure it's gonna matter if India is anyway playing a bit more slowly. He doesn't care so much about this tower. On the other hand, it's, well, of course 250 wood for Dutch is quite a big deal. Basically right now he could have been buying 100 wood at the market and building a bank, but instead he just made this tower. And now he's got less eco. He could have 5 banks, but well, 4 banks is still of course quite okay. Or he could have a military building and be training a couple of skirmishers, but apparently he's just planning on a straight FF, and that's maybe why he got the tower. He doesn't want to be idled all the time. He wants to have this tower just carrying these units away, because it's probably not worth it to try to idle if you get shot by the tower. Skirms are just gonna siege the market. Of course, I'm not really good at sieging, but he's just basically forcing Mongobillione to bring Virs in his TC to shoot at these units, and it's just some idle time delaying the age up from Mongobillione. 300 export next for India. But no. Okay, there's the consulate now. He still needs to switch. Okay, he's switching now to Ottoman consulate, and now I expect the 4 villager tech very soon. Dutch clicked the H3. From his 600 wood he made the last bank, so he's now on 5 banks and a stable, but he's gonna need to chop because he made that tower, so now he needs to chop wood for houses, or even maybe a racks, or to buy wood at least. The hunts are starting to be quite far actually. I think he could have heard it, that like he didn't miss hunts or something, but he just didn't really heard them. And nice split from Knuschelbär, just killing 2 villagers. That's quite a big peak, to be honest. When you wanna play so defensive with your tower and greedy with your 5 banks and everything, and then it means India is also gonna boom. And then if you don't actually, if you lose some vills and you're very quickly not so much ahead in eco, in fact. The villagers came in. He already got the biggest market upgrade for India. And there's tier 1 market upgrades for Dutch, which is decent. And well, now that's basically the max of what India can boom for now. The thing is that it's of course gonna get an extra villager every now and then with shipments. Uh, but he's not gonna boom really hard anymore unless he builds extra town centers. And he's now aging with a bit too much food, but it's gonna be okay. He's gonna age now. But of course, there will be now a big window for India to do some damage. For Dutch, sorry, to do some damage because, well, he decided to ship 1k wood and not units, which is okay, I guess. Making an artillery foundry, but it's just giving so much time. I don't know if I like this. Maybe a quick push would have been better in this situation because India is actually aging up. But of course he didn't know that India is aging. You can't really guess unless you scout it, but he didn't scout it. So maybe he's expecting India to stay colonial and that's why he's going a bit more slowly now. But still he's gonna get some artillery out. But once India is fortress, you will get the siege elephants probably. And they do decent against falconets. Then again, Dutch can make coverings. I think it works against siege elephants, but yeah, it starts to be quite a lot of artillery to pay for. We will see. Overall, I guess Ritter cannon is a good composition against Gurkhas and Barak. There's not much for India to really kill the cannons. Some barracks are not exactly the best at killing cannons because they don't have a really high attack. I mean, it's decent, but nothing special and not a special range either. But Howdas could kill falconets easily if there's only Ritters to cover because they have this range. Two sepoys raiding here. But they didn't kill any villager. I kind of dislike sorry for that. I kind of dislike Mongobillione pulling back his entire army to kill two sepoys instead of keeping pressuring. When you spot the age up from your opponent, you know you have a window to probably do some damage. And now he's just sitting back and he got a big mass of Ritters and a few falconets, but dropping another 2 villagers. And now there's gonna be stuff popping for India, so the window is already, oh, but that's a nice volley. But I think he waited too long now. He might not be able to do much. Oh. There's 2 hussars from the consulate waiting to go raid Dutch again, or maybe coming to the main fight actually. Of course, India right now doesn't have the army to deal with the Dutch composition, I think. Although he does have the siege elephants now somewhere. Oh yeah, okay, they're here in the back. Siege elephants might be just enough in this case. Two more falconets coming, so now you start to wonder if 2 siege elephants are gonna be enough to get rid of these. Because when you send your siege elephant forward, the Dutch player can send his Ritters to kill them, and then it forces the green units to come a bit closer, and the falconets might be in a position to shoot. And the aggro is down already. That's a lot of XP, and that's a good pick for Dutch. Now what's gonna matter is the artillery war. Knusch doing a good job keeping his siege elephants as far as possible from the falconets. They're gonna shoot. Okay, they're shooting at the siege elephants, not doing any damage actually. Mongobillione really needs to kill these. He really needs to go with his Ritters in or make coverings or something. Now I feel like this was overall a good trade maybe for India. He didn't lose so much stuff, or he did lose a Mahout, but this guy is anyway kind of useless against Ritter Falk, so he was just tanking and dying. But he did kill 11 Ritters and 2 Falconets and 6 vills, so somehow he raided another 4 villagers in the back. Swiss packs coming in for Dutch, but there's Aramis for India, and I don't know, like They of course destroy totally the Swiss spikes, but the falconets also do quite a good damage against Oromis. Is he gonna pop more falconets now? Apparently he's not trying to. So gonna stay on 3 falcons, and that's not super scary considering that there's still 2 siege elephants alive. I'm not sure Mongobillione is gonna be able to do much in the next fight. He does mix a few hussars, but they're not upgraded. While the Zembraks are getting upgraded now. And Gorkhas are just a strong skirmisher overall. Okay, Oromi is going in. The siege elephant's actually dying really quickly. Oromi is passing around everything for some reason, trying to kill the falcons, but they're just gonna die. So that's actually a super good fight for Mongobillione here. Potentially, this kind of fight is potentially game winning. I mean, he kills the siege elephants, he killed the Oromis, and lost basically nothing for it. He still got falconets out. Now India needs to somehow kill the falconets without having siege elephants anymore. He can train some, but it's really expensive and it takes some time. But for the time being, he doesn't have any siege elephants, so no counter to these falconets. Unless he can mass enough Zembraks to go in and kill them, but the problem is that with the Swiss spikes, it's really scary. It's really hard to go kill falconets with them. Because the range of them is only 12, so they need to come really close, and the Swiss spikes are ready for your goons and ready to kill them, and they kill them in like 2 hits or something. So Minutemen also idle there with no HP left. Oh, okay, yeah, well, 1 volley in from the Minutemen, not too bad, but not gonna be really enough to get rid of these falconets. There's 9 Ritter shipment or something here, or, well, that's actually a batch of 7 Ritters, because he has 2 stables, and they're idle, sadly. Mongo honestly doing a pretty good job at microing his falconets, just shooting at the goons, because doesn't matter what comes, your falconets have to be shooting and paying off, you know, and even if it's Zembraks, it's fine. But now he's being a bit careless and gonna give some free volleys. He's doing a good job now at pulling the falconets with his army, still gonna lose one of them, and not really getting anything in return. This was not good for Mongobillione. And his other falconet going forward now, I'm not sure what's going on now. He's basically he's gonna lose every single falcon there. No. Oops. Oh, yeah, he lost every falcon. This is so sad. He lost 3 falconets for free. He was really, really fine. He was really fine with his falcons, but now he's in trouble. And he ships the Black Raiders, which I don't really like, because they just they are not any better than Ritters overall. And you need to send a shipment for them. Like, honestly, you might as well invest these resources into more Ritters and ship Calf Combat, and I think you have a better army than if you ship the Black Raiders. Especially against so many Gorkhas anyway. Black Raiders don't have a range resist, so they're gonna melt. But it does have Calf Combat, and Calf Combat does work on the Black Raiders and on the Ritters and on the Hussars. So that's a pretty strong army now for Dutch. If he could add more Hussar, I think he would have a really good shot at cleaning up. But instead he's adding a couple of falconets, which is also fine, I guess. Now if he can spot this Menzada here, because you can see it's a bit more golden than the regular Gorkhas. So if you can spot it, it's not so hard in my opinion. You can see it's yellow here. You just can snipe it directly with your falconet. Takes a bit of time sometimes to spot, but yeah, you can try to do that. It's always good. More villagers dying. That's not so great for Dutch, but he's still in an okay spot. He's killing more vills here himself, so now the falconets need to be covered though. Oh, okay, Knusch is going back. I guess he doesn't want to try to start fighting without having his main skirmisher mass. A nice raid coming in from Mongobillione again here, maybe. Knuschelbär reacting, but there's quite some time until his villagers can be safe in the TC. Meanwhile, Mongobillion is pushing with his army, drag boxing around his falconets and stuff. I'm not sure what's going on. I'm afraid he loses them again in the back if he doesn't pay attention. Oh, well, this is a good raid. The Minutemen don't do so much against Cav Combat Veteran Hearth anyway. Actually, now defending really his falconets quite properly. I would have loved to see now a batch of Hussars coming on the other side to maybe trap. Oh, he locked the fire, so falconets got one more volley in. Overall, some pretty good trade, I would say, for Mongobillion. Now maybe committing a bit too much, but just losing one Hussar. And look at the eco now. These raids were really big. 11 kills lost for Mongobillion, but 25 for Knuschelbär. That's just a ton, to be honest. So now Dutch can remass harder. He got Cav Combat. India got Camel Attack, but it's not really as good as Cav Combat on so many units, because it's only half his army. And oh, but these falconets... Mongobillion pulling too much his falconets, honestly. And then they don't actually shoot. Should have been shooting at the infantry with them. But still, so many cav are dying to make up for these falconets. Because yes, there's Swiss packs and so many guns. And India does have skirmishers, but they are not upgraded. I mean, they are veteran, but they don't have a card on them. And this is a mass of Cav Combat Reiters. The Swiss packs in front dealing some damage and tanking. The Menzabdar died, and instantly this army from India looks kind of small. There is also two Mahouts that India forgot to bring, and his monks, sadly. And they're not gonna be picked off, or maybe not. Oh yeah, India gonna try to fight it, but I think that's... Well, I don't think India can fight this. But, well, he does have the skirmishers. Now, Dutch can make falconets or hussars, but he kind of maybe needs to stop with the pure gun thing, and he's kind of wasting there. He did defend the raid, but he had time to lose another 8 villagers, actually. Still quite ahead in eco, though. Oh, and now he might just go in. I mean, there's guns in his base. It's a really good timing for him. And there is not so much to block these hussars here. A couple of sowars and then the guns shooting in the back. But I think this is a good Z move from Mongobillion, because yes, there's also like, I don't know how many, almost 15 Gorkhas there idle. Knuschelbär overall just forgetting about bringing his stuff. Like he got a control group problem or something. He literally has half his army here, 2 Mahouts and like 15 Gorkhas and a couple Sowar. Meanwhile, his skirmishers are just dying. He might be able for the time being to clean up the hussars with the Mahouts, and if he can hit and run enough. But it's overall quite a good trade for Mongobillion, and I honestly don't even believe, like there's still one Cav Combat Hussar alive, and it's gonna tank for quite a while against this small mass of skirmishers. Meanwhile, the Reiters are doing damage. 3 falconets flanking. We're gonna see the volley now. Any second. He's pulling them so much forward. I kind of like it because anyways there's nothing to challenge his falconets. And now he gets a good volley and another. And it's looking like game over, honestly. Even the score gap is getting quite big now. So I guess Mongobillion is gonna win this game. Of course it's not over. But it's looking really tough for India. And what's next now? I mean, he got villas everywhere on the map. He got some here, some there, and some here. And now that's Minutemen actually. But yeah, I mean, he's not really able to do much. And you don't really want to lose your base when you're India, because well, there's the Chaminar Gate where he can train his Menzabdar. So if he loses it, he can't train these units anymore, and that's a bit sad. And that's not the biggest problem, it's also losing the TC, losing all your infrastructure. I don't know, it just looks really over now. And India shipping 7 Gorkhas, which is not the greatest shipment, because he needs to remass somehow and hold this push. But it's not going to be enough, and meanwhile Dutch is getting the infantry combat upgrade in, and he got 8 idle skirmishers, but they are upgraded. They're idle but upgraded. So the 2 last shipments are essentially useless for Dutch here. They just boss idle here. But it's anyway over, so it doesn't really matter. GG. Was quite a good game indeed. Was pretty close. Was never really sure who would win. And then in fact, there was just a damn good trade where I think this is when Knusch went in to kill the falconets and lost a lot of units to the... or maybe that was here, to the Swiss pikes. And here he got maybe cleaned up by the hussars when he had so many units idle, like 25 units here idle or something. I'm not quite sure, but anyways, there was a couple of really good fights at the end for Dutch. And this raid was also huge. I mean, this is actually insane. He raided 18 villas with a few hussars. And he did lose quite a few villas himself, but less than India. Like, he got the same amount of villagers at the end, but he got on top of these 5 banks, while India got only 2 trickles, which is like maybe 2 banks or 1.5 bank. So Dutch just ahead in eco, ahead in military, and yeah, winning the game. GG. 1-1. So that's good. We have potentially close series shaping. And now we have Hudson Bay, which is this time a TP map with a bit of water. With I think 4 different spawns you can have with the TP line in the middle or the TP line across the map. And you can have winter or summer version. So each of the spawn brings a bit of variety. For example, in the winter version you can't build buildings next to the shore because it's frozen. And depending on the TP line spawn, also it can affect your stagecoach. So it's gonna be quite interesting to see which civs they're gonna pick and maybe whether the spawn is gonna matter in this matchup. And I believe it's up to Mongobillione to pick first now, because it's alternated pick and it was up to Knusch to pick first the previous game. I'll be right back in 30 seconds. I think I forgot to bet on this actually, I'm not sure. I hope you guys did. So we just need to wait for Mongobillione to decide what he's gonna pick on Hudson. I'm not totally sure what this Mongobillione plays. Let's check. Well, it pretty much plays every civ, I guess, but there's also some treaty decks in this, I'm pretty sure. So I'm too lazy to check each of them. But I could see Sioux on this map, definitely on Hudson Bay. Or France, of course, which is quite a standard pick. Kind of fun to be grabbing these huge treasures, because there are always really big treasures on this map. So Sioux is really not a bad pick. I could see Knuschelbär picking Sioux, depending on what Mongobillione takes. Sioux could be a solid pick for him, because Knuschelbär plays quite a lot of Sioux. Brits, okay. That's not exactly the greatest pick on Hudson Bay, I think, but then again, there's water, so maybe he wants to go for some small water boom. Um, I guess that's not like it kind of means maybe that Knuschelbär is not gonna play Sioux, maybe because it's maybe not the greatest matchup, but he's anyway going Sioux. I was kind of expecting this, but against Brits, I'm not sure if it's the greatest pick, but it should be fine. It's not a terrible matchup or something. All right, here we go in game 3 of this round of 32 of the ESOC Autumn 2018 Championship. We have the recorded game, and here on the right side of the map, Knuschelbär playing in the color blue as Sioux, while on the opposite side of the map, Mongobillione is going to play Brits in the color green. And we have a summer spawn with a TP line across the map, which means it's a bit harder for Sioux to get a stagecoach if they want to get a stagecoach. I don't see Brits ever going stagecoach against Sioux anyway, but Sioux could like to try to get a stagecoach, and it's gonna be a bit harder for him. And the summer version means there's gonna be some livestock, which is definitely nice for Sioux, but at the same time the water is probably a bit better, so it's I guess better for Mongobillione if he wants to go water. So we need to see what they decide to do there. Knuschelbär picked 40 wood in his base, and he got now 160 wood, so apparently he's gonna chop. It was a wood start, and he's gonna chop for a TP. Meanwhile, Brits is gonna drop probably 2 manor houses or maybe a market. So what is this? This is not the greatest. This is also not very interesting. Not the best treasures to spawn. Well, there's a villager here, really easy to take for Sioux with the area damage. A food treasure is always nice. FTXP is okay. This is nice for Sioux, he can get the rifleman, even if the treasure itself is not wonderful. And Sioux dropping a TP on the other side of the map. So gonna get the XP quite late, in fact. So let's see, maybe Mongobillione got the deck. Okay, there's no water in this deck, so probably gonna see just some land stuff. And it's a rather standard deck overall. Does have all the upgrades in colonial, so I guess it's not well, he doesn't have, for example, 600 coin or 4 villages, but I think it's okay. And Sioux has a quite standard Sioux deck, I guess. Oh, actually Mongobillione getting the villager treasure, it's kind of surprising, since it's not really a matchup where you expect Brits to pick so much in H1, but I guess Sioux didn't scout this. And well, he could probably go kill the Green Explorer with the Rifleman and the Explorer, but he's not apparently going for it. Maybe just trying to get the 90 food when it's still time, because of course if you get it before aging, it makes it easier to gather your 800 food for the age up. So he wants to probably take it now to make up a bit for this H1 TP, which is always a little bit painful. Eating a ship as well, getting this treasure. So not gonna have a terrible age of time. 13 seconds idle time is not the greatest, but it's okay. Still, I would say overall it's maybe a good start for Brits just because he got this villager treasure. And the native scout. And Knuschelbär didn't get so much actually. Three villagers on both sides, of course, it's very standard. Oh, a wall going up for Mongobillione. So he's definitely gonna camp and just go for classic greedy braid stuff. The thing is that there's a Cherokee here and the outlaw rifleman maybe, or no, I think it died actually. Okay, it's dead. There's a Cherokee and oh wow, he's pulling so many vills to build this wall because he really wants it to get up in time. And he's even then trapping the Sioux explorer, which is quite big actually when you think about it. At this point I think Sioux should just go up here with the explorer or something, or down here and just siege down. Oh, this wall was not finished. So now it can go down really easily, but Mongobillione repaired. Oh no, it was finished, but it just was really low HP somehow, I'm not sure. So now this explorer is walled in, and I guess it's EP wall, so maybe after a while it will go down to these 2 units, but it's still gonna annoy Sioux quite a lot that he can't use his explorer, and that Braid is able to boom so much maybe. But okay, and the rack's going down for Mongobillione. He's just buying time here. I think it's smart. Like, he's forcing blue to come back to chase him, and meanwhile, I'm pretty sure he's gonna repair the walls because it's very, very cheap to do. Or maybe not. It would cost him like three wood or something to repair each of these, and it would buy even more time. But now it's too late because there's a bear making sure the wall can't be repaired. Knuschelbär not really making any unit at the moment. He started training clubs for the siege, but honestly, I mean, there's a racks up here, so Brit can just make 5 longbows and be totally fine against any kind of club pressure. Soon not going for a stagecoach either. He got 5 years, 700 wood. Maybe now gonna get TPs out of this wood. The problem being that of course he still got his explorer in, and now it's dying to melee musketeers sadly. So now, well, I mean, that just sucks for Knuschelbär. He can't go for a stagecoach, or then he needs to build with his villagers. And he's building a TP. I think he got stagecoach on the way, and maybe another batch of clubs, which could be why he spent all this 700 wood. Now some satin bows, okay. But I honestly don't believe in this. I mean, of course, satins would do fine if there's only musketeers, but would be easy for Knuschelbär to just add longbows, and he's adding some longbows, and then he's probably super safe. 6 satin bow shipments, so Knuschelbär is really wants to just try to push in, but Mongobillione smartly repaired the wall at the end of the day, and satins are harassing villagers, but not gonna kill any, I think. And now Mongobillione can just abuse the range of the longbows, and clubs don't have the greatest siege. 27 is not so much, so he's now totally safe. And while Knuschelbär is still building his second TP, takes so long with villagers, Luckily, he's gonna get it in time for the stagecoach, so that's at least one good thing. But still, only 2 stagecoach CPs. Now, probably gonna dance for his explorer. We will see it in a few seconds in the top right corner here, I think. And yeah, there you go. So he wants to get his explorer back to get some more TPs. I think this TP can be taken for Sioux. It's really far from the Brit TC. It's quite a lucky spawn for Sioux there. He can definitely get 4 TP stagecoach on this spawn. So that's pretty nice. Still, meanwhile, Mongobillione is of course booming on water. He went for a very greedy build order. He's totally fine behind his walls. And he got much more ecos than Sioux, even if you take the TPs into account. And what is he gonna do now? Is Mongobillione gonna try to mass a ton of stuff in Colonial, or is he gonna age up? I guess you would age up probably, because you know that Sioux is gonna age up himself. And well, I think with the walls and the longbows behind the wall, you can buy enough time and age up yourself. And yeah, there is 700 coin on the floor, and it could be an age up from Mongobillione, but he's still training some units, so I'm not sure. We need to see. There is no stable, so he's not gonna make a big batch of huss or something from this coin. I don't think you would need 700 coin to make musketeers, but he's making musketeers. I feel like this is a mistake now. He could just age, because he anyway knows that with his longbows he's totally fine to defend any kind of Sioux pressure, but instead he's going himself out, which I question, because he's going so greedy that he doesn't have so many units after all. And well, of course he can win this fight in Colonial, but once Sioux gets some stuff on the field, like straight up soldier shipment or something, or some Wakinas, I think Sioux is able to definitely clean up. Well, but still, it was a nice little push out for Mongobillione. Killed a couple units, made sure that this TP is not going to be taken by Sioux, and kills the polar bear. Could even maybe have risked to burn this down, but he's going back safely in base, and that's fine as well. Sioux is of course aged up. He got a stable and a war hut and a fire pit as well, because he revived his explorer, and he can now use his fire pit to dance for war when there's a fight. And well, Mongobillione of course gonna have to age up slowly, because you don't have the fast age politician as Brits. So there's gonna be a window for Sioux to maybe do something. But then again, with the walls, it's gonna be hard for Sioux to push in. Some Wakinas are coming in. An axe rider. So that's just how you counter this musketeer longbow composition, by making skirm cav essentially. A second layer going up. Mongobillione is like, yeah, why the hell not? Like, let's just pay another 50 wood and buy some more time. Or 75 wood or something. By the way, Brit's got basically all the market upgrade he wants, and Sioux doesn't have placer mines, which is kind of sad, because he's gonna mine a lot of gold for his units still. It's not a very gold heavy sieve, but you still you do mine some gold, and he got right now 11 bills on coin, and placer mines is just a must, I think. Mongobillione is now H3. He got a very sizable army. He got much more stuff than Knuschelbär actually. Like, not much more army, but much more eco, water control. Upgrading his longbows, probably gonna upgrade his musketeers right now. No, he dropped something else. But yes, it's just like a very tough spot for Knuschelbär. I guess he can hope for a nice fight when he pops his dog soldier in some minutes, like 4 minutes or something. at 16 minutes, so in like 3 minutes, he can go and get for 1k5 food 6 dog soldiers. But that's not exactly, I don't think that's gonna be enough if Mongobillione is massing a lot of stuff with this huge eco that he got right now. I don't think the dog soldiers are gonna be enough to break that. Of course, there's 40B stagecoach for Sioux, so he is not so far behind in eco, but still like 17 wheels behind or something, counting the TPs. And this dog still maybe popping some boats. And Brit still got the potential to make more manors to get even more eco. Oh, and he upgraded his walls, oh my god. Yeah, it's gonna be impossible for Sioux now. He's spamming some boats. Dancing for fertility, I think, to make boats faster, which I kind of like actually. And just attacking here to buy time and like make a diversion to draw Mongobillione's attention on this part and maybe buy a bit more time. This army of canoes is definitely gonna be able to kill 2 caravels. The thing is that the dogs are gonna be shooting as well. And Mongobillione could maybe drop 1 tower or 2 here. He got already 1. And it's gonna do a good damage against the canoes, of course. Both caravels dying. But still. 2 dogs up, one with 150 siege, a tower. Canoes are not exactly the greatest at sieging stuff, I would say. You will get the tower down. I would have really liked to see Mongobillione try to drop another tower. Oh. A small fight going on, but Knuschelbär going back. A caravel in queue for Mongobillione and another caravel in the back. Wow, siege dance for Sioux, and siege dance is actually affecting the warships. They get more siege as well, so it's kind of a small water dance. Probably less efficient, but still. They do get quite a lot of attack. 97 attack on this canoe. Holy cow. They're just so strong right now. They can kill fishing boats in like 3 shots. And the siege dance is of course helping as well his units to try to go through the walls. Still, I mean, the eco is so one-sided. Problem being that Mongobillione did go water and he doesn't have a water deck, so he can't really get these OP British warships. It's gonna be tough for Brits in this position. He really needs to contest the water. But I guess it's fine because just the longbows are able to repel any kind of Sioux aggression. And he's doing a good job at always rebuilding his walls. And could repair a bit more, but still he got a new layer up. Meanwhile, Sioux is dancing with so many villas on siege dance, so it means of course he's making almost no units right now. He got really few villagers and resources, only 12 on food and 11 on coin, while Brits got tons of bills gathering. So at the end of the day, it's a way for Sioux to be really aggressive and multitask Brit and buy time. I mean, not buy time, but like force Brit to defend everywhere and move his units. But at the end of the day, it's just good for Brits, this kind of stuff. Like, he's just getting more resources in, and I don't know. He even got a second TC because he got 67 builds, so he can still build more. Can drop the 2 or 3 last manors and have a very solid eco. Of course, one thing to consider is that now Mongobillione is gonna have to make meals, and he started already. But when you have so many villagers, it's not so much a pain to pay for meals. Oh wow, they have so much siege, 68 siege. And Knusch still didn't call the dog soldiers. So he has still this potential timing. Yeah, he didn't lose his dog soldiers, so the walls went up but directly down again. Knuschelbär just being annoying as much as possible, trying to force breed in this part of the map, while in the meantime there's the top part of the map being pressured as well. So now Brit is gonna have to split his army probably. Actually also Cav is going on top, so he needs to also bring his musketeers on top. So Knusch just trying to abuse the mobility of his Cav and force Mongobillione to run around slowly with his infantry. And now he's maybe finally gonna be able to break in and force a fight. He got Cav combat, Mongobillione got musketeer combat. Overall the better unit composition is for Sioux, I would say, but I'm not sure if he will win the game. I mean, if he'll win the fight, if they fight. Knuschelbär actually already going back. I feel like he could have been sieging this with his cap here and go in because he got some water units as well. It's quite an intense game there. Mongobillione popping another caravel and yeah, quite an intense and close game. But then again, at the end of the day, it's just overall a good position for Brits, I guess. But he needs to do something. Like, he can't just keep being so passive. At some point he's gonna need to damage Sioux because he's still losing a few villagers all the time and getting pressured on top and not really being able to get water control. So I feel like Brits need to be a bit more active right now. Maybe get a big water armada and push on water, or then try to push on land or something. I'm not sure what Brits can do about the situation, but he does need to do something, I think. He can't just keep waiting. We'll see. Brits could have also add some hussars, honestly. And the remaining 3 houses. Or Brits could also go h4. When you got 200 pop, like you make your 3 more manors, a few more units maybe, and just some villagers, and you go h4. And then you're kind of safe. Oh, looks like Sioux is going to try to fight this. He calls the dog soldiers. Looks like Knuschelbär is losing connection. Oh, or maybe not. Not sure. Well, that would suck. Sioux could have tried to garrison some units. The problem is that it's very risky because these boats have, like, they're just cheaper and weaker than warships one by one, and they can garrison 50 units inside, but they don't have any HP, so they could die very quickly. Apparently it's Knuschelbär because he... Yes. Oh, he's also here. Well, that sucks. Let's wait, I guess. Not sure. Yeah, looks like the boss can read me.
Yes.
Him? Not sure. Well, I don't know what to say. Uh, I can't even resign because it's frozen. Oh, so everyone can see everyone, so no one is actually losing connection or something. Let's just pause and hopefully wait and hmm. That's classic ESO. So I guess yeah, we just pause and hope that it's gonna come back. Mongobillione got 3 caravels out, but no upgrades on them. And Sioux was able to actually deny half of the water, around half of the water.
Yes.
Let's try again. Looks like the pause helped a bit. Alright. Well, okay. I have no idea what just happened, but let's just be happy that it's over. Sioux going to siege on north, on the north of the British base. And the British units are gonna lag behind because they are of course slower. And now with the siege dance, hopefully soon. Sioux really needs siege dance now. He really needs it if he wants to siege this down in time. He got it now, but it's too late, I think. Or slightly too late, and there's the musketeers. If only he danced for siege just a bit earlier, he could have got this down and maybe go on top and run his cav around. And then I think it's pretty hard for Brits to do anything when the cav is in and running around and idling and killing your villagers. It's really tough. But yeah, he just got the wall down, and Mongobillione is just gonna rebuild it. Well, with the siege tents, they get basically 300% of their base attack. So these war canoes one-shoot fishing boats actually. And they kill caravels in 3 hits, so it's... Oh my god, they're so strong. They're so cost efficient. Mongobillione coming in again to defend, and the wall gonna be rebuilt again. Oh boy. But now Knuschelbär is coming in position to do something. Mongobillione is investing so much into water to defend here that he actually can't age up. Because I don't think he's really making any units. Like, he's not losing units, so he doesn't need to remake musketeers or remake longbows or something. Oh, but now I think this is gonna go down. It looks like finally the cav is gonna go in. And now it's gonna suck for Mongobillione big times. I don't know what he's gonna do. Oh, Knusch wants to get the docks, but I think it would have been more interesting to go on the villagers. I guess the musketeers were in position to defend, so maybe that's a wise choice. I guess shutting down the water is also not a bad idea. I mean, when he gets this down and the caravels down, and he can escape his cav here on top, and then garrison them inside of a war canoe. He needs to bring a war canoe. He's just gonna run past them, but there's a wall here, already rebuilt by Brit. Still, he might be able to just go catch a long post now. Oh boy. That's terrible for Brits. That's gonna be tough for Brits. He's gonna lose a lot of longbows here. And at the end of the day, it looks like Knuschelbär was able to really come back in this game, even if he had so little eco. Now he's got quite a lot of views, 63 and the stagecoach. And well, it looks not so bad for Sioux, after all. And these cav are quite strong. Can still ship cav attack now and get really strong cav. And now that there's no water anymore for Brits, he's going to send some cav on top of the British base and try to kill the villagers. Brit is walling, but I think it's gonna be too late. And yeah, it's probably gonna be GG now. I mean, the units are so out of position. All these villagers are in great danger now. Yeah, tower is not gonna go up. Alright, GG, yeah, that was a funny game. I was pretty sure Brit would win it because like he had so much more eco. But Knuschelbär did a really good job at multitasking, always on top and bottom, on top and bottom, until at some point finally Brit was just like not in time to defend. Then Sioux could nuke the docks and get the full water control and come here with his canoes to really deny any docks. And at the same time, just unload a ton of cav in the eco and then Brit just resigned because yeah, it is probably over at this point. The eco of Brits was getting weaker and Sioux's eco was getting stronger. Okay, interesting game. 2-1 for Knuschelbär now. This is a best of 5, so it's a match point for Knuschelbär. And I believe that Knuschelbär needs to pick first now. So that is something to consider as well. Oh, I joined a bit too quickly, I think. Maybe Brit should have been mixing some dragoons instead of these musketeers because it's just much more mobile and allows you to defend much better. Maybe he should have gone h4 somehow at some point. I don't know. There was something to do. He was just too passive and at the end of the day he was just not able to hold forever. You know, there's a point where you're gonna, for like 5 or 10 minutes, you're gonna move your musketeers always around and just be in time, just in time every time, slightly, like just in time to defend, and then there's a point where you're too late and the cav goes in and then you lose the game. So yeah, I could have made some dragoons, I guess. Because there was some potential. I mean, Sioux didn't make a second TC or something. He was really not booming quickly, so there was a window for Brits to mass much more and do something. Also, they didn't use the Cree trading post. I think it's quite good when you're booming, especially since Brit built some plantations and mills as well. The Cree trading post can give you a discount on the cost of all your buildings. Or maybe they don't know some map pool. And yeah. Yeah, the discount could have been really good for the plantations and mills, but yeah, it was a good game. High plains now. Good old high plains with 5 TPs and a lot of food and gold. The ESOC version of Great Plains, but with much more TPs basically and more in the middle. So we'll have to see. It's still reset, so they can pick any sieve again. I guess Portuguese could be a good pick on this map, or Spain, because of the ATP, and then you have of course Otto and all the sieves that can more or less take control of a TP line. Otto, alright. That's definitely a good pick on a map with so many TPs. And we'll have to see what is gonna be Mongobillion's answer. It's not easy to counter Otto on this map. Honestly not sure what to pick against this. You can mirror, of course. Then you can maybe, I think Spain could beat Otto there, or Ports maybe, with ATP. Alright, he's going Ports. So we're going in game 4 of this series. Round of 32 of the Autumn Championship 2018. And 2-1 for Knuschelbär. This is match point. Mongobillione counter-picking Otto with Portuguese on high plains. And we will see how they play. We kind of expect an ATP stuff, but at the same time Otto can take a lot of trading posts quickly, so it's not always so easy to go ATP against Otto. So we'll have to see if they battle for the TPs like that. Maybe we could see a game with a totally different kind of build order, where the TPs would not be really the center of the game. For example, Otto in fact going really aggressive to try to surprise, and Portuguese defending without TP booming. It's a coin start, which is slightly better for Portuguese. They can, if they won't get the market up, and there is 90 coin in Portuguese base, so he could definitely chop just 50 wood and get 100 dogs. I think it's worth it. Let's check the resources, but on this map it's fine anyway. And alright, Portuguese picking some coin right away and herding, maybe picking this coin treasure as well with this villager, I would expect. Otto just ignoring the coin crate because totally useless in H1, going straight for the best TP of the TP line. He should get the XP. And Portuguese is indeed going for a market. And he will have more than enough gold to buy wood for a house and still have some coin left for hunt dogs. But if he wants to go for hunt dogs, he still needs to chop some. Otto getting the XP just in time. Almost giving him his first shipment. Apparently Mongobillione just wanted to make a market to buy for the house, which means he will have his market ready for transition already to get the hunt dogs and maybe the wood upgrade. But he is actually gonna chop for hunt dogs still. I think it's quite late to start chopping for this. Mongobillione got 60 food, while Knuschelbär gets 130 food treasure. So that's definitely insane for Otto. I mean, Obviously, you don't gather food super fast as Otto since you have not so many villagers, only 8 right now. While Portuguese has, for example, 11 with hand dogs. And Knuschelbär is adding a market and shipping 300 wood. So I guess that's his way to... Wait. Ah, okay, so he didn't make a house because he anyway ships 300 wood. Instead, he makes a market and a TP. But honestly, wouldn't it be better than to keep the 100 wood with the 300 wood together to make 2 TPs? And then deny even more of the TP line to your opponent? Oh, gonna get the gain the XP just in time. That's just wonderful for Otto right now. He's not shipping 3 villagers, so he's gonna totally skip this reveal card, I guess. No? Is he shipping against 300 wood or Silk Road or something? Not 3 villagers anyway, because he would have 12 pop right now and he has only 9, so... We will have to see if it's Silk Road. I would expect Silk Road, honestly, when you go so heavy on TPs. But I really dislike this market. He anyway didn't make any upgrade inside. I guess he bought some wood because he had maybe 200 coin or something, and he bought some wood from it. So the market pays off and then he can get some upgrades. But then the wood upgrade would have been maybe cool to chop for so many TPs. He stopped at 3 TPs. He does have Silk Road in, which means that his age up is already going to be 500 wood instead of 400, because with this card you get 25% on all the crates. 25% extra on every crate. 125 instead of 100 inside. And also 25% extra resources from the trading post with stagecoach or the train. Can actually even see the Silk Road affecting the crates. It's kind of funny. So yeah, just somehow kind of greedy, but not so greedy from Otto. I mean, it's like he does keep 3 villagers because he goes for 300 wood. But he still gets probably a very solid stagecoach boom. Meanwhile, Mongobillione cutting the trading post, not even building 1, in fact. And maybe just gonna go straight FF. I mean, he's gathered so much food already. I would expect a 700 coin to come first and an 8 jump instantly. Oh wait, a forward barracks for Portuguese actually. So looks like we have a shenanigan there, like that's quite funny. Portuguese going forward building against Otto. And Otto in fact going for double, it's artillery foundry and racks, so it's a late double Jan. He first focused on taking TPs and didn't make the racks until rather late, I guess. He made the stagecoach. 700 wood is gonna be, I think, 875 wood with Silk Road, and he's gonna get the last TP and easily a racks foundry. Still 260 wood left, so he can still make like a market upgrade and a couple houses, and then have his stagecoach on coin maybe and mass a lot of units. Let's see. He got it on coin and he got 120 coin. Because that's Silk Road, so instead of the, I think 96 you would get usually or something on this map, you get 120 for each TP, and that's just huge. It's basically 4 or 5 villagers on coin for each of these trading posts, so he got a total of at least 20 villagers on coin right now just with the stagecoach. So he can totally make Abuscans and Jans from this coin. And meanwhile, Mongobillione just making units. From Thoraxes, in fact. I'm not a fan of this play. I don't see it beating an Abus Jan. I guess he wants to bait Knuschelbär into thinking that he's going FF, and maybe Knuschelbär edging up himself. And meanwhile he's massing some units, but I don't know. It feels like this mass is not super scary. 24 units at 7 minutes is not bad, but it's not very impressive. And I think sadly the Ebuskans are gonna be able to just deny any kind of pressure. And honestly, I don't wanna call it too early, but this could be just the end of the series because Mongobillione has just no way to deal with Ebuskans right now. And I really dislike his decision to go double racks like this against an Ebuscan. We could have tried to rush then. I mean, there was a big window where Otto had nothing out because he was focusing on TPs. Let's see, he spent 300 wood and Silk Road and some of his 700 wood to get all these TPs up. So it's definitely a window where Portuguese could have been maybe rushing Otto instead of going for a kind of timing like this. Because right now he make a small mass of units and then try to push, and it's already too late because the Abus guns are out. And now he's gonna be forced back because Abus guns are so strong against infantry. He does kill one of them, but if Knuschelbär does a good job at hit and running, he will be fine. He's shooting a little bit too early because on RE, Abus guns shoot faster than that. Actually quite a good pick from Mongobillione, killing 3 Abus guns. Meanwhile, Knuschelbär making grenadiers. It's quite funny because a couple years ago I played the tournament and I was against Knuschelbär, and the final map of the series was the same matchup, Otto against Ports, and he went ATP and I made grenadiers, and now it's him doing grenadiers against Mongobillione. And well, anyway, it doesn't matter so much. I mean, he had enough siege power. These grenadiers are just quite funny, but they don't matter. At this point, he pretty much, in my opinion, won the game. He got more ecos and ports right now with his units. Then ports is gonna try to H. So there could be maybe a decent H3 for ports. He's adding hussars. I don't know. I feel like Potts is gonna run out of food before he can do so much. Lonely bison here. He was able to herd kind of 2 bison hands to his TC. So he has a lot of food between 2 town centers. Maybe a potential colonial militia even. So he could be okay. I don't know. I don't want to call this game too early. Of course, the longer the game goes, the better it gets for Portuguese. So it looks like quite good for Ports if Otto is not pressuring. But at the same time, there's going to be a long time before Portuguese can actually start outbooming Otto because of this strong TP boom. And Otto is getting Nats for some reason. Dropping a TC. And he's H3, so he's gonna be able to upgrade his units. Mongo is burning a TP down, which is nice. He's gonna need more though. If Otto can get 3 TCs and the musky upgrades, and he does have already the tier 2 musky upgrade, he's gonna boom pretty quickly, and I don't think Portuguese is ever gonna catch up then. 1k coin for Otto because yeah, with the Silk Road it's in fact 1k 250 coin, and he's going industrial apparently, probably setting his TPs on food and just shipping the coin, mining no coin because he doesn't need any with 1250 coin. Really doesn't need to mine gold, and I didn't see if his TP wasn't food. It should be, I think. It wasn't wood. Could have probably sped up a bit his industrial age, but it's alright. Knuschelbär clicking in age 4 right now. Soon. And Mongobillione just reached age 3. Starting to come close to the auto eco now. I'm not sure if it's the best choice for Otto to go so passive. Now he's pushing, but he didn't upgrade any of his units. But still gonna be able to kill these buildings, a couple buildings quite quickly, and defending the raid at the same time. Otto got a much better army than Portuguese at this point. Oh, colonial militia and the hussars on the other side coming to trap. Knuschelbär reacting pretty early, but still, why are these units not upgraded? At least the Janissaries, there's so many of them. The Jans could be veteran, and now, well, it looks like a good fight for Portuguese there. Still one hussar alive. Now there's no more snaring power. Okay, so now Otto can escape and be okay. Did Knuschelbär get anything out of this? What was it, a Cheyenne, I think? Cheyenne settlement? He didn't get any upgrades, so I'm not sure why he got it. I feel like he just goes a bit too greedy. Like the TCs and native posts, the 2 TCs and native posts actually not upgrading his units and going straight to H4 and pushing at the same time. And now it just feels like, well, oh well, with the falconets now it's another story. Mongobillione is gonna have to go back. But still, he took a good trade. And well, he still has 3 DCs, he's still Portuguese. I don't know, it's still Otto favored, but Otto should really not wait too much now. I think at this point Otto is gonna have to maybe shift the bombard and try to push. Because if you wait too much, Portuguese is gonna eventually outscale Otto. 20 range goons, or well, actually it's only 18 range goons on EP, but it's still quite scary for Otto to deal with. Oh, goons on top. 2 villagers dying. It's quite a lot of dragoons here. They're gonna be able to kill a few villagers and force maybe Knuschelbär to react. He's just pulling this. Oh, that's a lot of walking time. That's like 30 villagers idled or something, and some of them dying. Meanwhile, Knuschelbär is pushing himself, so he might be okay. Mungo shipped the goon upgrade, but he doesn't have so many goons, and I'm not sure it's really the greatest card for him at the moment. Doing a good job pulling back dragoons, not letting them die too much to the goons. Oh, who wins this fight? I mean, well, I guess it's still Green, because his goons are upgraded. Yeah, it's gonna be a decent fight for Mongobillione. So he was able to kill the falconets. But I mean, these 2 falconets were only the age up reward for Knuschelbär, so he can still... oh, he's gonna revolt. He's revolting right now. And Mongobillione is taking the bait. But of course, when villagers are being pulled like this, it means it's a revolt. And well, now it's gonna be a ton of stuff for Knuschelbär on the field, and it's gonna be really tough for Portuguese to defend. He's gonna have to really somehow mass a lot of goons and maybe get the upgrade on them that they have more range to kill this colonial militia. 2 organ guns. Oh, this is not... I mean, organ guns popping in Imperial Hussars is not exactly what you want. So that's a waste of a shipment. Some villagers dying. Now we need to keep in mind that of course Otto he does have some eco. He got a factory and 5 TP stagecoach, but he lost all his villagers because they turned into colonial militia. And all Portuguese has to do is to hold this push, and then he wins the game. But is he gonna be able to hold it? He still has one potential colonial militia pop, I think, and maybe 2 sets of normal Minutemen, so that's like 27 Minutemen that can potentially pop. But it's not exactly enough, I think. He needs more units. He needs to bring this back for a starter. Mongobillione needs to react really quickly. Maybe 8 skirmishers could be also a good call against this mass of musketeers. Colonial militia. Colonial militia, by the way, have a multiplier against cav and dragoons, so they do kill them quite fast. So Mongobillione was able to pick off the 4 Gatling guns, but he lost a lot of guns for this. And now this raid is gonna be huge. But dragons are gonna maybe come in time, and these hussars are very valuable for very valuable indeed for Otto. They're H5 Huss and he doesn't have so many of them. He kind of needs to keep them alive. And there's not so many colonial militia, and they're not the strongest unit ever. They're just really good at killing cav at range, but they don't actually have really good stats overall. So if Mongobillione can make enough cazadors and maybe ship 8 of them and bring his dragoons back, he might be in a position to defend. But it's gonna be really close. One more batch of Minutemen called. Not really able to bring any resources in because Knuschelbär is just killing so many villagers and forcing them off hunts. Mongobillione not really chasing these so much. And shipping 1k wood now instead of the 8 cazadors. I don't get this. Maybe he wants to rebuild town centers, but it's better to be able to hold. Like the cazadors have the range, so they would maybe be able to do something. 1k wood to remake TCs is not gonna be so great, I think. Looks like Knuschelbär is gonna win this game at the end of the day. But I guess when he rebuilds town centers, he does get more Minutemen pop available. The problem is that these Gatling guns are basically organ guns, and they are coming by batches of 4 from the Ottoman home city, and well, if Port doesn't make coverings, I don't see how he's gonna handle them, and I don't see how he will make coverings anyway because he's just got a low eco and his bills being idled all the time. This Imperial Hussars paid off. And Knuschelbär just wreaking havoc in Mongobillione's base. This is going up in the back, but not exactly an ideal spot for Mongobillione. These are not the greatest against buildings. Takes quite a long time to kill the TC. Oh, but they do a great job at killing infantry. This Minuteman died almost instantly, and Mongobillione resigns. Well, that was a funny game. Almost. Okay, out. Almost. Pot's almost able to come back. but at the end of the day, the revolt just he wasn't able to hold it, and yeah, I guess it was just like a lot of stuff. And if you don't manage to micro really well and to do exactly the right decision, it's really tough to beat this kind of revolt. And there was still so much eco behind. I mean, look at this, so many resources coming in for Otto without even having fucking villages. He's just getting so much trickling in from the TPs and the factories, and just pushing Mongobillion so hard that he was not able to gather so much himself, so still behind in resources. And the big shipments coming in for Otto, big revolt shipments. And yeah, just a lot of villages dead for Mongobillion, too many I think. Had a good start overall. I mean, at start he was getting kind of wrecked by the Janabers, but then he got a good catch here, and he was in a decent spot I think. But yes, the H4 was just unchallenged. Okay, well I think